Half of all Americans over 65 take a daily supplement. Millions take 5, 6, even 10 at a time. And most of these people, intelligent, health-conscious people who are genuinely trying to take care of themselves, have never been told that some of the supplements sitting in their medicine cabinet right now may be actively working against them. That's not fear-mongering. That's what the peer-reviewed research from the last decade is showing us. These are supplements your neighbors take, your friends recommend, and that are sold on the shelves of every pharmacy in the country. They look completely safe. Some have been standard medical advice for decades. And yet, for anyone over 65, the evidence tells a very different story. Today, I'm walking you through 5 of them. And more importantly, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do instead. I am Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and this channel is dedicated to bringing you the latest evidence-based health research in clear, practical terms, specifically designed for life after 60. If you're watching for the first time, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our videos each week. Now, let's get into what you came here for. Let me give you the list first because you deserve to know what we're talking about right away. The 5 supplements I would never recommend to my own mother and that I believe most seniors should stop taking unless they have a specific confirmed medical reason are high-dose vitamin E, iron taken without a confirmed deficiency, high-dose calcium supplements, preformed vitamin A in retinol form, and high-dose melatonin. Each one has a completely different story behind it, and the reasons they're problematic vary enormously. So let's start at the top. For years, vitamin E was considered one of the most important heart-protective supplements a person could take. The logic seemed airtight. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant, and antioxidants protect cells from damage, so taking more should protect your heart. Millions of people were told exactly this through the 1980s and 1990s, and vitamin E supplements became a fixture in medicine cabinets everywhere. Then the science caught up with the recommendation. A landmark meta-analysis published in the Annals of Internal Medicine examined 19 randomized controlled trials involving close to 136,000 participants. What they found stopped the cardiology community in its tracks. Vitamin E supplementation at doses of 400 IU per day or higher was associated with increased all-cause mortality. Not decreased. Increased. People taking high-dose vitamin E were more likely to die from any cause than people in the placebo group. The HOPE-2 trial published in JAMA followed over 7,000 adults for nearly 5 years and found that 400 IU of daily vitamin E was associated with a significantly elevated risk of heart failure. Here's what's happening at the cellular level and why the dose matters so much. At the high amounts found in most supplements, vitamin E can shift from behaving as an antioxidant to behaving as what scientists call a pro-oxidant, actually generating free radical damage rather than neutralizing it. On top of that, vitamin E has real blood-thinning properties. For someone over 65 who is already on aspirin, a statin, or a blood pressure medication, stacking that additional thinning effect can cross a threshold that matters. The critical distinction is this. Vitamin E from food does not carry these risks. Almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, olive oil, wheat germ, all excellent sources. Food delivers vitamin E slowly in small amounts, absorbed gradually and regulated naturally by your digestive system. A 400 IU capsule is a concentrated synthetic bolus that overwhelms that regulation entirely. Now, let me ask you something directly. If you're currently taking an iron supplement, when did your doctor last test your ferritin levels? Comment below right now and tell me, are you currently taking iron? And do you actually know your ferritin number? I'm curious how many people watching have had this tested recently. Iron is essential. Your body absolutely needs it. But it's one of the only nutrients your body cannot efficiently remove once it's absorbed. If you take in more than you're using, your body stores it in your liver, your heart, your joints, your pancreas. And here's what most people don't realize. Iron naturally accumulates in the body as we age. A 2022 review in the journal Antioxidants summarized years of research showing that excess iron progressively drives oxidative stress, promotes chronic inflammation at the cellular level, accelerates biological aging, and has been linked in multiple studies to cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and neurodegeneration. People who genuinely need iron supplementation have a confirmed deficiency, meaning a ferritin blood test came back low and a doctor has identified why. Active bleeding, a malabsorption condition, or a specific diagnosed deficiency. For most seniors, this isn't the case. Most reach for iron because they're tired and someone told them iron helps. But fatigue after 65 has many causes, and without a blood test, adding more iron is guesswork that can cause real damage. Margaret was 69 when she came to my clinic exhausted, barely able to get through her afternoons. She'd been taking 65 mg of iron daily for nearly 2 years on a friend's recommendation. Her ferritin came back at 380 nanog per milliliter, close to 4 times the upper limit of normal. She had significant iron overload, which was fueling systemic inflammation and making her fatigue worse. We stopped the supplement, identified the real driver of her exhaustion, and within 10 weeks, her energy had meaningfully improved and her inflammatory markers had dropped. But before we continue, I want to tell you something that surprises almost every patient I share it with because it completely changes how most people think about bone health. Stay with me. Calcium supplementation is one of the most aggressively marketed interventions for older adults in medical history. Decades of messaging from supplement companies and even from well-meaning doctors delivered a simple message. Your bones need calcium. Take calcium supplements. Prevent osteoporosis. Logical, simple, and now complicated by the research. The Women's Health Initiative, one of the largest clinical trials ever conducted, followed over 36,000 postmenopausal women and found that those supplementing with 1,000 mg of calcium daily had a 17% higher rate of kidney stones than women taking placebo. A 2010 meta-analysis published in the British Medical Journal examined 15 randomized controlled trials and found evidence suggesting supplemental calcium alone may raise cardiovascular risk, with some analyses showing an elevated risk of heart attack among women who supplemented versus those who did not. The debate around cardiovascular risk from calcium supplements is still active among researchers, but the kidney stone risk from the Women's Health Initiative is well established, and the underlying mechanism is worth understanding. When you swallow a calcium pill, it causes a rapid spike in blood calcium. Your body wasn't designed to handle calcium delivery this way. Calcium from food, dairy products, leafy greens, sardines, fortified plant milks arrives slowly in small amounts across attention. It's hidden in plain sight inside millions of medicine cabinets, and most people taking it have no idea it's there. Go to your multivitamin right now and read the vitamin A section on the label. There are 2 forms of vitamin A used in supplements, and they behave completely differently in your body. The first is beta-carotene, a plant-derived provitamin A that your body converts to vitamin A as needed and naturally limits based on what you already have. Completely self-regulating. The second is retinol, also called preformed vitamin A, listed on labels as retinol acetate or retinol palmitate. This form does not have an off switch. Whatever you take in gets stored in your liver, and because it's fat-soluble, it accumulates over time. A 1998 study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine followed nearly 60,000 women and found that those in the highest category of total vitamin A intake had significantly elevated rates of hip fracture. A Swedish cohort study published in 2002 found that women with the highest retinol intake had roughly double the hip fracture rate compared to women with the lowest intake. The proposed mechanism, excess retinol, antagonizes vitamin D activity and appears to interfere directly with bone formation by disrupting the cells responsible for building new bone. Many standard multivitamins, including popular senior formulas, contain 2,500 PAL to 5,000 IU of preformed retinol. You may not have realized that number is there. Seniors who take a multivitamin plus eat fortified foods, plus occasionally take additional supplements, can accumulate a significant daily retinol load without realizing it. Grab your multivitamin and check right now. Comment below and tell me, does your vitamin A source say retinol or beta-carotene? I genuinely want to know what people out there are taking every single day. I saved this last one because it surprises people the most. Everyone assumes melatonin is completely harmless, and at the right dose, it may well be. The problem is that the dose on the pharmacy shelf is almost certainly not the right dose. Melatonin is a hormone your brain naturally produces to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Production does decline with age, and that's a real contributor to why sleep becomes harder after 60. Supplementing makes sense in concept, but research from MIT, including foundational work by pharmacologist Richard W. Mann and subsequent sleep medicine, have established that the physiologically effective dose of melatonin for most adults is between 0.1 and 0.5 mg. Not 5, not 10, half a milligram or less. Walk into any pharmacy right now. The standard offerings are 5 mg, 10 mg, even 20 mg. That is 10 to 40 times the dose that actually works with your melatonin receptors rather than flooding them into desensitization. Here's why seniors are specifically at risk. Older adults clear melatonin from the bloodstream significantly more slowly than younger people do. A 10 milligram dose taken at 10 p.m. may still be producing meaningful sedating effects the following morning, contributing to dizziness, cognitive fog, and slowed reaction time that people simply write off as normal aging. A study published in the journal Age and Aging found a specific association between melatonin use and fracture risk in older adults. And the proposed pathway is falls-related. Daytime sedation you don't recognize as a side effect because it's gradual, can still affect your balance. Harold was 71 when his daughter brought him in after 2 falls in 3 months. He'd been taking 10 millig of melatonin nightly for almost 3 years. He was certain it was safe, it's natural, it's sold without a prescription. He'd never been warned. We stepped him down to 0.5 millig of extended-release melatonin. He told me at his next appointment that for the first time in years, he actually woke up feeling clear. Now here's exactly what you should do with everything you just heard. For vitamin E, if your supplement contains 400 IU or more, have a conversation with your doctor about stopping. Focus on getting vitamin E through food: almonds, sunflower seeds, spinach, olive oil. If you continue supplementing for a specific documented reason, choose a mixed tocopherol form at 100 IU or less and confirm that decision with your physician. For iron, do not take an iron supplement without a ferritin blood test first. This is standard, inexpensive, and tells you definitively whether you need it. A ferritin level below 30 nanogs per milliliter may warrant supplementation at a specific dose for a defined time frame. Normal or elevated ferritin means stop the supplement and investigate the real cause of any fatigue with your doctor. For calcium, target 1,000 to 1 to 200 milligs per day from food, dairy products, canned salmon or sardines eaten with the bones. Calcium-set tofu, kale, bok choy, fortified plant milks. If you genuinely cannot reach this through diet alone, limit supplemental calcium to no more than 500 milligrams per day taken with food, never on an empty stomach, and combine any supplemental calcium with 100 micrograms of vitamin K2 in the MK7 form, which evidence suggests helps direct calcium toward bone rather than arterial walls. For vitamin A, check your multivitamin label today. If it lists retinol palmitate or retinol acetate above 1/500 IU, consider switching to a formula that uses beta-carotene as its vitamin A source. Many updated senior-specific multivitamins have already made this change. When shopping, look for USP-fied or NSF certified on the label. These are third-party verifications that the product contains what it claims. For melatonin, step down your dose gradually over 2 to 4 weeks. Cut your current dose in half for the first 2 weeks, then in half again. Target 5 milligrams of extended-release melatonin taken 30 minutes before your intended sleep time. Always review this step down with your doctor. Melatonin interacts with blood thinners, diabetes medications, and immunosuppressants, and your physician should know about the change. One more recommendation that applies to every single item on this list. Bring a complete written inventory of everything you take. Every prescription medication, every over-the-counter drug, every supplement, every vitamin to your next doctor's appointment, and ask for a full medication and supplement review. Drug and supplement interactions are dramatically underreported in older adults, and they become more consequential with every decade because your liver and kidneys process substances more slowly. This one conversation could protect you from risks that are completely invisible if you're only looking at your prescriptions. Here's the bottom line. More supplements is not the same as better health, and this truth becomes more important, not less, with every year. Free high-dose vitamin E, unnecessary iron, high-dose calcium pills, preformed retinol, and excessive melatonin are not helping most seniors over 65. In several cases, the research indicates they may be causing genuine harm. And for every one of them, there is a safer alternative or smarter approach available to you today. I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 surprised you the most? Leave a comment and tell me. Or if you're going to go look through your supplement cabinet after this, comment the word checking. I want to know how many of you are taking a fresh look at what you've been reaching for every morning. And if someone you love could benefit from this information, please share this video with them. That might be one of the most useful things you do today. If this gave you something valuable, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss next week's video. We're going to cover the 3 most commonly overprescribed medications in adults over 70, and specifically what you should be asking your doctor about each one. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell. Take good care of yourself. You deserve to know exactly what you're putting into your body, and